guess you shouldn't take a drink of water 1 second before you go live because there's some lag. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Here I am back on Fridays. I think I've taken about a month off from doing live uh, on Friday. So I'm back in my saddle here. It feels good. Last week, I think, was a little bit of a disaster. I apologize. I can't even delete the damn thing, I don't think. But I tried Facebook's platform. I couldn't share a screen. I was flustered. So forgive me for last week. All right. So if anybody's going to join me today, I'm going to buy you a cup of coffee. If you make comments, go ahead and put your email address in the comments for me, and I'll buy you a cup of coffee, whether you're catching this in replay or in live. Okay. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're joining me now, I better turn my phone off here because it's been blowing up a little bit. My son had a car he needed to get rid of and sell. His wife was getting a new one, so they're, passing it down, right? So they had their old car that they needed to sell. And my gosh, I put it on Facebook last night at about 8 o'clock, and my phone just blew up with like 41 inquiries. So good he got it sold this morning, and that's off our plate. So, but man, oh man, let me tell you what, that Facebook Marketplace is a place that you can definitely get rid of some stuff with, right? All right, so here we go. Today I'm going to tell you, how we show up big, but yet we stay small. If you don't know me, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me. Of course, I'm Julie Severco with Prime Real Estate. My husband, Jake, and I own Prime Real Estate. My son is also a broker with us, and we have a couple of agents that are with us as well. Okay. But we're just a small independent brokerage. We started out about 22 years ago. We never worked for another brokerage. We got our real estate licenses, and we formed our corporation, and we hired a designated broker of record. Okay, so that means we were stockholders, we owned the brand, we owned the business, the corporation. So as soon as I was able to get my broker license, we executed our exit plan. And of course, we've been in business ever since. Okay, so that's our story. And we've always been independent, and I think it takes a certain personality, right, to want to be an independent broker, right? Some agents prefer to be on a team. Some agents prefer to be part of a bigger picture with a franchise. It's okay. You know why? Because there's 101 ways to make money in real estate. Okay, so if you're just joining me today, go ahead and put your email in the comments, and I'll buy you $5 worth of Starbucks, okay, if you're interested. Okay, so I'm buying coffee today, whoever's joining me. All right, so we got started back in 2000, like I said. So you can imagine we've seen quite a few different market shifts. Okay, now of course you're hearing all of the scuttlebutt. Is it a bubble? Is it going to burst? Well, the sky is never falling. That's my theory, right? We're going to live to see another day. And let me tell you, there's always a silver lining inside of every dark cloud if you know where to look and how to look for them, right? Every market shifts provide opportunities, okay? Every market shift provides opportunities, all right? You just have to be savvy enough to be attuned to what's happening in your market and shift when you need to shift, right? Okay? So that's my word of advice moving forward, because I don't know if you heard the news. Alexa, breaking news alert today for me was 40-year high inflation rate. Yay, yay. Oh my God. We're in for a whirlwind, aren't we? Don't fool yourself into thinking that we're not in for a whirlwind. Okay. And the biggest piece of advice that I can give you is just to get yourself as debt free as you can. Okay. I don't care what anybody tells you about interest rates or, equity positions or blah, 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 blah. I'm talking about consumer debt. I'm talking about credit card debt, automobile loan debt. That kind of debt will just eat you alive. Okay. I'm not talking about the type of money that you borrowed to make money with a real estate investment. Okay. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about consumer debt. Get yourself ready to weather the storm and pay that crap off right now. Okay. Or as soon as you can. Okay. That's my word of wisdom from experience. Okay. Now, one other thing that we gained from experience was to learn how to pivot our business and to cast a wide net and to create multiple streams of income. So I think that's kind of the way some independent agents, when they get started, they think that it's all about just building a sales force. Okay. But it really isn't. There are 101 ways to make money in real estate. Okay. I'm going to show you my streams of income, and then I'm going to show you my stack of tools that we primarily use to maintain just the core business. There are going to be a few tools that are beyond today, what I'm going to show you, that we use, like Calendly, for example. We also use Monday.com for an electronic task management system between my son and I, so I can keep track of what he's doing, right? And we also use a tool called eBroker House, which allows us to have a platform for all of our contracts and our property management listings and that kind of stuff. So some of these tools you might look at and think, well, they're pretty antiquated, but they serve a particular purpose. And, you have to be careful that you're not just following something for the bells and whistles that you never end up using. Okay, that's how we've come down to these stack of tools that we use, because we use them consistently. Okay, and they produce. So I don't care what a tool is, if it's complicated or it isn't something you're comfortable with, or it might be cheap, but it doesn't have everything that you need it to do. These are some things you might want to rethink. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let me see. I'm going to start with, let's roll out the biggest tool in my business, to be honest with you, is Facebook. Everything that I do is on this platform, which is almost kind of scary because you never really want to have all your eggs in one basket, right? But I'm pretty confident with the rest of my tool stack here that, I could recover if Facebook changes, shall we say. I don't think Facebook's ever going to go away, but it definitely has its changes, doesn't it? Okay. One of the biggest things that I focus on is Facebook groups. Okay. This is my biggest attraction mechanism in the top of my funnel. Okay. The top of my funnel is what attracts. And the biggest thing that attracts for me are Facebook groups. I have about 8 Facebook groups that I own and manage. And I look at these as buckets of people that I can market to. Okay. So obviously I have a Facebook group here for you because you're my avatar for my coaching interests, right? And I have housing groups for my buyer and seller avatars. And I've got Facebook groups for screw off groups that is just a meme group, that we just have a lot of fun sharing probably some off taste memes, right? There you go. Yeah, there you have it, right? You don't have to put your world out onto your personal news feed. As a matter of fact, if you're friends with me, you're probably going to see I don't share a lot on my personal news feed. I really don't. I will occasionally. I'm not going to say I never do. And most of what I do share is sarcasm, but my information is delivered in buckets to people who are interested in that type of information. Okay, so I never share just listed or just sold. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I never share that on my personal news feed because I've got several buckets of people who are specifically interested in that type of information that I don't need to put that out on my personal news feed. Okay, that's just the way my business is structured. All right, but there you have it. Okay. You'll see as we run through some of these stacks, I've got a method for my madness, okay? I really, really do, all right? So the next step in my stack of tools and arsenal here is, of course, the targeted and retarget ads on Facebook, okay? Now, this is the method to my madness here. The reason why I post things specifically on my business page and then share them into my groups is because I get a little bit more juice out of it from my targeted ads, okay? My targeted ads, of course, are reaching a cold audience, people out there who have never heard or seen or touched my world. But my retarget ads, that's where the rubber meets the road. So if you're not doing retarget ads, stop. Just stop. Just stop with your target ad because you're putting that ad in front of that person once and that's it. And they'll never see it again unless you've got some juice behind it with a second ad that's retargeting everybody that touches your world. So if they touch your business page, if they touch your website, if they, touch a post or an ad from you, they are in your audience. And Facebook gives you all of these glorious buckets of people and their audiences, okay? And all this data, right? That's what you're paying for is data, okay? So keep that in mind, that it's all about the data, okay? But once they're attracted to me through these various different methods, I'm only talking about one or two, right? I'm only talking about one or two attraction methods. Trust me, I've got more. When I finish the stack of tools, I'll bring you through my stream of incomes and you'll see where all of this comes together, okay? But obviously, you have to reach a cold audience. You can't knock on enough doors, right? You can't physically have enough open houses to reach the thousands of people on their phone every day in a cold audience. And that's what it takes to build a sustainable pipeline. And that's what we're talking about when you are an independent brokerage. We're talking about developing a sustainable pipeline so that you are working smarter and not harder, so that you don't have to level up if you don't want to level up with a sales force, okay? There's more to this business than just managing a sales force of agents, and I'll show you, okay? So stay with me, all right? All right, so the next thing in my stack of tools is, of course, my website, okay? When they come in my door in my Facebook groups, or if they touch one of my ads, everything lands onto my website. Now, let me take a sip of water here. Yeah, if you have a website and it's nothing more than a billboard for you, that's not a tool, okay? That's like an electronic business card, all right? Your website needs to be IDX compatible. It needs to have information that your consumers are looking for, which is data on listings, right? It's all about the data, all right? So your website needs to be a tool that you offer as your lead magnet, right? Because when you can dangle a list of every listing in your market in front of a buyer, there you go. There you go. Every listing. Here it is right on my IDX website, right? That's your lead magnet. That's what you drive traffic with, okay? So once they come in, of course, on my website and they register, that puts them into my CRM. My back end is connected directly to my website. Make sure you're not moving from one tool to the next, right? Make sure that they all connect properly, that no data is lost in transit, right? So my CRM is connected right to my back end of my website, one tool, right? My website, my landing pages, my CRM, my blog, everything. I use ihouseweb.com if you're looking for a good tool that has everything you need, but not more than you need. Okay. There are some tools out there that are just overwhelming because they do more than you have time to deal with under one umbrella. You really do, and then you want that separate. I always, I would not want my ad creation connected to my website CRM. Okay, that because I get more creative than what they want to produce for me. Okay, all right. So your CRM is the backbone of your business. Okay, this is where it all comes together for someone who wants to operate independently or with a small team. That's what we're talking about here. I want to caution you again, the bigger you build, and I've been there, I have had 100 agents come and go through my door, right? Just to get 20 to 25 to stick for a little while, okay? Because you got to know that your most talented agents, of course, are going to move on eventually. They just are, okay? So you have to decide what your vision for your business is going to be. For us, we want to have a vision that it can be operated remotely, that we have an income that allows us to travel when we want to travel. And I'm not talking about recruiting a bunch of agents. It's not necessary. That is not the only way, right, to be able to travel and have a real estate income is to recruit a bunch of agents, that hopefully might produce a little bit. Okay. I don't like to depend. This is what I learned. Okay. I've been up, I've been down. But to me, for my season and my purpose, to be able to make my lousy 6 figures and go home, right? Because I don't want to work that hard, but I do want to make 6 figures. Okay. So that's what we're talking about here. I live in small town USA. You know what I mean? If you live in a metropolitan, more expensive area, you might have to hustle a little bit more. But I know some agents that are out there that are killing it with niches. Okay. So that's something you want to think about is your vision for your business. Okay. Now, how we hold it all together. This is how we hold it all together, right? Because once you collect all this beautiful data, you've got to nurture it. You've got to nurture it for a decade. Okay. You've got to think in terms of decade. And how are you going to nurture these people for a decade or more? Right. Right. All right. I do it with a heartfelt email correspondence. I don't do drip email campaigns. This is kind of the biggest mistakes that we made along our path. The biggest mistakes that we made in our business is when we depended on automation too much, right? And it always inevitably disappointed us and our customers. Okay. So make sure that the automation that you're looking for isn't going to lose your personality. Okay. Because that's what you have to hold on to, the essence of your personality in your brand when you're an independent broker. Now, I don't care if you've got 5 agents. I don't care if you've got 20 agents. You've still got to hold on to that essence of your personality in your brand. Okay. When you get above 25 agents, it's a different story. It's no longer a small brokerage. It's a mid-sized brokerage. And of course, onto there for a large brokerage. Okay. But a boutique brokerage, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the most majority of us, right? That just need to operate independently. So whether it's yourself and a transaction coordinator, or yourself and a buyer's agent, I work with an agent, Nicole, right? My friend Nicole, and she does not have her broker license yet, but she's worked with me for over a year now. And we're forming her foundation for her business. And we've done all these things that we've talked about. We've created groups for her. She's running a strategic Facebook targeted marketing campaign. And I think I've shared in the group before, she also unfortunately deals with cancer and battles cancer. So she has a specific vision for her business where she doesn't want to show property anymore. Okay. She doesn't want to work with buyers anymore. It's tolling on her. And she'd rather go spend time with her family, in their happy place, as they call it, their camper. That's their happy place. If you know Nicole, you know what her happy place is, right? But she was able to pull out 6 figures after taking a whole year off for the pandemic, right? Her first year back in the saddle, boom, working with me, she pulled out 6 figures. That was last year. This year, she's rocking and rolling even more, okay? Right? So I have a friend also, Brent. Now, I've been working with Brent for close to 2 or 3 years. Started working with him when he first got his license. He's now a broker. He has gone through, gotten his broker license, and he's set up a property management business, right? I've shared his story in the group too. He don't like people, so he'd rather not work with buyers either. So he prefers property management. So whatever your vision is, that's what we work with. That's what we formulate. That's what we put together for you in what I do in my coaching. Okay. So the next way I keep this together, after a heartfelt email correspondence is in place, and I know these people intimately, right? The next level I want to take to them is a personal handwritten correspondence. Okay. Now, you've probably, if you've had any measure of success in real estate, you have probably read the Ninja Selling Book, or 7 Levels of Communication, or Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Keller Williams. All of these systems, right? Any one of them entail a heartfelt handwritten note element in their funnel. Okay. Now, I can't sit and write handwritten notes, and I need a system in place that's going to make that easy for me to do that and give me a notification so that I don't miss a beat, right? And what I have found is send out cards. Okay. Oops. Looks like I have a typo there, but this is really send out cards. Okay. SENDOUT. So sorry for my typo there. Send out cards. Okay. .com. And I have an affiliate link for that if you're interested. But that allows me to capture their birth dates at closing, right? They get a birthday card from me from now for eternity. Okay, seriously. And of course, multiple cards a day. If I see them on Facebook and I have, once they're customers of ours, they're typically friends of ours. So if I see their children on their first day of school on Facebook, I can grab that picture and I can make a cool card with that and send that to them and congratulate them for first day of kindergarten. Man, oh man, let me tell you what, those cards go on the refrigerator. They don't go in the trash can if they got a picture of your daughter on them. Right? All right. So send out cards if you really want to implement that handwritten element. I use a font that's handwritten, right? And I write a personalized message in each and every card. All right. So, that's my inner circle. There's a little over 400 people in my send out card database that I correspond with on a regular basis with handwritten notes. Okay. When you solidify relationships like that, it makes the marketing costs go down. Although you have to continually funnel down with your attraction mechanisms, my groups have been in place about 5 years now. I've got 5,000 in one, 3,000 in another, and 2,000 in the third. Those are my avatars for my real estate business. Okay. So that's my attraction. That's what I can market to. That's where I can share listings to. That's where that is. That's where that's happening at, and then when you drill down, you get more personal, right? And then you've got a circle. Then you've got your circle. Okay. Now, after I close them, I will share this little tool with you too. I use this for a lot of years. I've used this and I still do. All right. It's a program called Continuity Programs. It's a 5-year follow-up for buyers. So typically when I put a first-time home buyer in, or any buyer really, that's going to occupy the home, this is a 5-year follow-up with 42 touches. I think for $50, it's a set it and forget it solution, right? If you think you got more on your plate than you can handle, you can start with continuity programs, okay? Until you can ramp up to using some of these other tools, right? You can use continuity programs and launch a 5-year follow-up program with 42 touches for I think less than $50 a pop. Okay. So, there you go. That's a closing gift. Okay. All right. So if you've seen anything in here that's interesting to you and you want to talk about some tools that I use, this is just a few. This is just the general stack of tools that keeps my sales funnel together. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick here, and I'm going to share my income streams. And this might put a little bit more perspective in place for you on the different options that you've got. Again, my philosophy is 101 ways to make money in real estate. You don't always have to just be hustling with buyers or sellers, okay? And, and different business models produce different, reactions, different, tasks and different models are all out there available for you, okay? Don't let anybody judge you on how you are going to make money in your business, okay? And I say that because, I work with an agent, Kelly, who manages a flat fee brokerage. Now, even the same model, we've got her coming down this same pipeline. They're in their 2nd year of owning this brokerage, and they are rocking and rolling, okay? With their targeted ads, she had a goal for the month of April to close 17 listings, to get 17 listings. I think we talked yesterday, and I think she was at about 24 listings for the month of April, okay? And, they exceeded their goals last year, but they bang them out, and, they do a good job, and that's an excellent opportunity to upsell into a full service. So, don't cut off your nose to spite your face is my philosophy, because there's 101 ways to make money in real estate, isn't there? Okay. So let me show you real quick. I'm going to share a screen and we're going to talk about the income streams that I've drilled down to. Again, there are income streams that we've had that we no longer have. Okay, so let me share screen with you real quick here. And there you go. So we're going to start off with my brokerage, which is Prime Real Estate, of course. And every independent brokerage starts off with a stream of income of listing and buyer sales commissions, right? You're boom, you got your broker license, you opened up your own shop. It's just you. That's the first thing you're doing is you're listing and you're working with buyers. Okay. Then you think, wow, I think I want to level up a little bit more. I'm going to hire a team of agents. I'm going to hire an agent sales force because everybody thinks that's what I have to do to grow. I have to hire other agents. Okay. We all have to because, hey, if you don't do it once, you'll never learn, right? So that's the first thing typically an independent agent or broker feels like they need to do is hire an agent sales force. Okay. Now, like I said earlier, I only have two agents in my sales force and they kind of do their own thing. They really do their own thing. We don't depend on an agent sales force. Okay. So the more you hire, understand the more you have to feed. Okay. So if you're only feeding yourself and maybe your one or two other team members that are supporting you, you can stay leaner and meaner. Trust me. Okay. All right. But the more you grow, the more you have to feed. Okay. Just keep that in mind. The first thing that we started and that we still do today is property management. When we started diversifying and we started doing property management when the last market crash hit, right? When people wanted to buy new homes because everything was on sale, but they couldn't sell their home for what they owed against it. But they were very strong buyers. They could absolutely, afford to purchase whatever they wanted in another home or another property because everything was so damn cheap, right? You know what I mean? You were foolish not to pick up property then when everything was on sale. Our market plummeted 60% in value in 12 months. Everything was on sale. Let me tell you what, I sold a house for $19,000. And you can't even buy a brand new car for $19,000 today, I don't think, right? All right. So things change, don't they? But we started property management and we still do that today because I can do it virtually and it's minimal physical labor. Okay. That's what I look for. Less physical labor. That's what I'm seeking. Okay. So today we can earn, of course, with our management fees. We can earn with the application fees and we can earn with the finder's fees. So we've got 3 different streams there that we can earn from under our property management. And there are several more that you could implement if you wanted to. You could branch off into a property preservation like Brent did. He has a property preservation company that he pays to maintain the properties with. You know what I mean? That's where you start letting the wheels turn. If you have to pay somebody else to do a job, you might as well create a business yourself that you can pay to do that with, right? Okay. You can also, of course, like we talked about, flat fee transactions. Now, you don't have to be a flat fee brokerage, but let me tell you what, when my customer of several years asks me, will you take $2,000 to draft this contract? The answer is yes, because I'm the broker. I can make that decision. I can do that. Okay. You might not be able to do that if you work for somebody else. Okay. But in this market, I don't leave any stone unturned. Okay. If I'd have said no, she'd have paid somebody else. All right. So when I think in terms of $2,000 to draft an offer that's already negotiated, all I'm doing is putting it on paper. I'll do it. I'm doing it, right? I don't know about you, but I'm doing it. There you go. All right. So the next thing that we have is another firm, another company called Prime Real Estate Investments. So this is the S corporation that we will do our rehab. We buy and flip and do rehabs. We also hold some properties ourselves for long-term rentals. And we also do Airbnb these days and short-term rentals. This is new for us this year. This is my new vision of, I feel like this is going to be a strong avenue in the near future, right? You're either going to be traveling and have money or you're going to be not. Okay. So I think that fills another niche for my future. So that's something I'm very excited about. And let me tell you what, there's a couple of girls in this group that are just killing it with Airbnb and arbitrage. Okay. Arbitrage, you know, you're leasing a property and then you're turning around and subleasing it. Okay. So you don't even have to buy or own real estate to do Airbnb. Okay. So lots of different directions you can take. Okay. And then, of course, as you know, you're talking to me here. I have started doing coaching and I really enjoy it. You know, not making any money off it. That's for sure. You know, not yet anyway. This is part of the building a business process. I'm only in it my third year. And I feel like it's more important for me to provide, you know, a difference in our industry. And it's my passion to help real estate agents that are rocking and rolling. You know, they know what they're doing. They know that they are independent entrepreneurs, and there's no question in their mind that they want to own and operate their own brokerage because they want the freedom to make their own decisions. Okay. It's not the same. It's not the same as being under someone else's umbrella. Okay. That's just not. It's just not. You know, and you can't explain that to somebody who's under someone else's umbrella. All right. You know, I'm talking to those people who know, right, that they want to be independent boutique brokerages. And I help them become profitable and set up these multiple streams of income. Okay. So if you're interested in what I have to offer, hit me up. Just send me a private message. We'll schedule a video chat and we'll go from there. Okay. All right. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. And if you join me today, or if you're joining me in replay, drop your email in the comments and I'll send you a $5 link to Starbucks for a cup of coffee. All right. All right. So I'll talk to you later. I'll see you next Friday at 11. I'm back on my horse. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.